Welcome back, Rangers, to the newest ER video. This is a continuation of the Edible Backyard Weeds mini-series. This is part 2, and today's plant is a super exciting plant. It is known as things like the buttonweed, the cheeseweed, the dwarf mallow, the roundleaf mallow, marsh mallow, and the common mallow. This is indeed the mallow, and this is one of my favorite edible weeds in the area. This is a non-native plant, and you can see that is this guy that is growing right here. In California, we have 2 non-native varieties of this mallow. One is the Marsh Mallow plant, which is Malva neglecta. The other is the little mallow, which is the one we're looking at, and that is the Malva parviflora. Both of these plants are in the Malvaceae family, and this is the Malva genus. And before we get into the identification properties, let's just go ahead and jump into those edible properties, because I love the edible properties on this plant. The stems and leaves of the entire plant are edible raw or cooked. Something that's really awesome about this plant is it has a mucilaginous property to it, so it's commonly used in things like stews as a stew thickener. In fact, this is in the same family as okra. In addition, something that's really awesome about this plant, when it fruits, which it's not doing quite yet, when it fruits, it'll have little tiny round fruits on it called wheels of cheese, and they indeed look like a little tiny baby bell cheese, and when they are perfectly ripe, they have a mild cheese flavor to them. It also has flowers that have 5 petals, and it has a calyx that typically covers half of the flower itself, and those flowers are white colored to violet colored. I'm gonna go ahead and try to dig out one of the tap roots for you guys right now, because there's a cool property that you can do with this tap root. And again, this is a non-native plant, so this plant is okay to take out. And something that's really cool is when you get down to the taproot of the mallow, you get this beautiful white root, this beautiful white taproot. And this taproot is very high in calcium and phosphorus. And you can actually chew on this taproot, and it's great for dental care. If you mix it up with things like the manzanita leaves and break those open, cleaning the teeth in addition to this mallow root here. So if you chew on this mallow root that's high in calcium and phosphorus, you get that full dental care in your survival situation. All right, guys, so that is the mallow plant. Again, the one we're looking at is Malva parviflora. This is in the Malvaceae family, and this is the Malva genus. Super cool plant. Something that's really cool about the Marsh Mallow one, that is the Malva neglecta, is it used to be the main ingredient for things like marshmallows and root beer. So this plant has a recent history as far as people utilizing it. In addition, the seeds to this plant are edible, and the seeds for sure are very high in fat and protein, which is another really cool property to this plant. I think I'm covering everything here. I'm kind of scattered with the properties. Oh, let's get into the identification. Almost forgot that. So the identification of this plant is that these leaves are palmately lobed. Typically, you're going to run into 5 to 7 lobes on each of these leaves here. It kind of has an awesome, unique shape to it, and that it reminds me of like a little lily pad or something like that. And like I said before, the flowers are 5-petaled. Typically, the calyx on the flower tends to go up halfway the length of the actual flower itself, which are white to violet in coloration. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me on this new mini plant series of edible backyard weeds. Stay aware and protect.